Sometimes TheOdie is back, and welcome to
the next part of our RPG horror puzzle maker game. So, in the last part, we learned about flashlights as well as this box pushing puzzle. However, in this part, we're going to finish off the flashlight, sorry. And what we're going to do is ensure that when they're in this map, they are not allowed to turn it on or off, and such that when they return back to this map, the flashlight stays on. To be honest, second part is really easy. It's kind of automatic because once we turn off the flashlight able switch, then the flashlight will stay on and the flashlight switch will stay on, such that if the flashlight's on, the switch stays on. Okay? So, very simple stuff. And, well. We go back to the basement and then we check out this door. You will have come to see that the flashlight is required to be on in order to jimmy open this door. And during this process, we want to ensure that the player will not be able to turn the flashlight on and off once they're, jimmying the door. So what we're going to do here is enter at the very top, control switch, flashlight able, flashlight able, and ensure that it is off. Okay? That's all we gotta do. And now if we go back to the next room with the cabinet, we're going to go over here and, it's not that one. We're going to go over here, and when you try to open the door or leave, you're going to come to here, control switch, flashlight able, it's back on. So we hit apply, okay, test it out, control R to run, space to, confirm. You'll see that it should work. Did you guys enjoy my intro? That was rather unique. You guys thought I was going to talk about it and just go straight to this video, right? You guys are weird. Alright. I'm going to cut us over to the end. So, just in terms of RPG Maker and the tools that we are handy with, if you take your pinky and hold Control, you can actually phase through the map. This way, you can skip all the way to the end and grab the key and go to the map. There seems to be two keyholes, one on top of the other. This one fits in the bottom and the door is opening. I guess I have nothing to worry about then. I'm a little nervous to see what's back here, but I already made it this far. My god. This place looks horrendous. The air is thick with blood. I can even smell something rancid in this room. The smell is not from the blood. It's also something I've never smelled before. What is it? And where is it coming from? So if we try to toggle our flashlight with page down, you'll come to see that it's not working. Now if we were to leave and toggle it, it still works. Nice. So if we start with off, I should turn it on. Toggle it on. Oh no, but hey, it still works. So, as you can tell, we still got edited out a bit, and you're gonna come to a realization why that is so. And you guys should have realized it rather because it's something super simple. It's in page 2. All you gotta do, again, control copy, control paste, and there you have it. Control S, control R, so we can test it out again. Okay, so if you try pressing page down here, notice that the flashlight will not turn on or off because we disabled the toggle, the able. And now to the big test of whether or not we can re-enter. And it works for the most part. Oh no. Oh no, our flashlight can't be toggled. What's going on? So if you were to look into our code, you will come to realize that, hey, say that the flashlight's off and we try to toggle the door. Or we try to interact with the door so that we can enter and get to the other side. But, however, if you were to read this line by line, you will see that the flashlight able gets turned off and the flashlight is off. So it's only running through this, and now we can no longer turn on our flashlight. So what do we have to do here? Control copy, Control paste it in here, turn it on there. Apply. Same thing with this, an assumption that the flashlight is not on. Okay? Very simple. Oh no, I hit cancel. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, because I applied. I'm a smart guy. Okay. So, very simple fix. And then if we go here, you will realize that we were able to turn off our flashlight as we leave the door. So instead, we're gonna implement it down here. Apply, okay, Control S save, Control R to run. So far so good. And ta-da! And there we go. It all works. Okay, so now let's move on to the code deciphering. So if you were to double click this door, you will come and scroll down to see, well, you won't even scroll down, you'll just slowly lower your eyes to this. Temp X equals 11136. So, what's happening here? If you look above it, you'll see input number, temp X, 5 digits. So, as you guys would know, input number is a way of saying, hey, player, enter a number, and then we're going to save it into the variable temp X. And depending on how many digits it is, well, that's how many he'll put in. So ones is the ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. So, yeah, very simple. So, now the question is, how will they get these numbers? And what I decided to do for this puzzle is make it such that the player has to decipher Braille. Take Braille, turn it into letters, and take those letters, and depending on what position it is in the alphabet, that will equate this number. So, if you have been realizing these little circles that I told you to ignore for now and come back to later, that's what it is. This thing here, this is actually in Braille. If we hit preview, you would see this. And then this dialogue, the top part of the dialogues, becomes available once the player finds the chart of Braille alphabet. That way he can start identifying what these Braille letters are or equate to, and, well, get the code out of it. So if you were to look into this tile event here, you will see that there's a short cutscene, and then he's gonna, at the end, achieve the Braille alphabet. And if we were to go into our events here, our items, in the database, we'll look for chart of Braille alphabet, and then you'll come to see that, hey, chart of Braille alphabet, a bunch of bumps and indentations, numbers written, and these things must be huge. Flavor text. Alright, so it's a regular item, it's not consumable, and you can open it in your menu screen, and you could ignore this because it's not used in battle at all. And then if you look over here, you'll see a common event, Braille. Whoa. Items can be positioned to common events too. They can use common events, and yes they can. And here we are. Don't worry, I did it all out for you. I googled the Braille alphabet, and I actually put them in. And look how neat it looks. Very lovely, very beautiful. So if you see this backslash awkward greater than sign, I was going to say awkward caret sign, but it's a greater than sign, you'll highlight your little text box and see exactly what it is. If you go to third from the bottom, if you go third from the bottom, you'll see display remaining text on same line all at once. So what that means is that rather than slowly appearing each of the text letter by letter, word by word, it'll all display that one line at the same time. Okay? That's how it works. So, when the player goes and finds the chart of Braille, and then he goes into his item and uses it, that Braille alphabet will appear. Okay? And, yeah. Just like that. Very simple. And based upon this here, you will have to personally decipher exactly what it is, from Braille to the English alphabet, and then from the English alphabet position into Braille. And if you were to read this, you will come to see, I think I've seen etchings around the areas. Could it possibly translate into Braille? That's the hint we give to the player. And then, in case they still can't figure it out, and if so, how do letters relate to numbers? See? So now it kind of allows the player to get an idea of exactly what it is they're translating and if whether or not they're on the right track. Because as a Let's Player, I can admit that often at times, regardless of how simple the puzzle may be to you guys, to me, sometimes I'm like, okay, so I got Braille. I'm assuming I have to go to the English alphabet, but is it like the position in the alphabet maybe? Or is it like how many times it appears? I know, it's kind of dumb, but hey, it's whatever. So the letters here is actually 11, 1, and 11, 13, and 6. And what I decided to spell was, I believe, K, M, F. And it doesn't really stand for anything, but just for fun or for like a short thing, it would stand for killed my father. Because if we were to play this game and reveal these two squares here, you will come to see that the one that's dead there is actually Jake's father. Oh, did I spoil the game for you guys? Sorry, we're developing it, so it doesn't matter. So if we were to actually look at this and read this line for line, well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually going to... Yeah, I guess I will. I'll mention every little key point or key part of it in very short briefness. Okay? That way we can make this video short, and by now, after everything we've done in the past videos, you should have come to realize exactly what is going on in here. What is going on in this event. What is going on in this event, and you should be able to decipher it line for line, as well as be able to create an image in your head of what's going on in this scene. Okay? So, we go down. Assuming that they have the Braille alphabet. In the case that they don't have the Braille alphabet on them, then they would go and talk about, they would go here. Oh, sorry, they would go here. That's what happens when they don't have the Braille alphabet on them. They can't even attempt to do our code. However, if they do, they're going to say this, or Eric's going to say this. They have the ability to attempt a code, and it's going to loop such that he will continuously attempt it until he decides to quit out of it, which is down right here. And then as we go along with this cutscene, you'll see that certain things have been disabled, certain things are said. To be honest, this thing right here is repetitive. We could actually delete it, and the only reason it's there in the first place is because I had my code different in my original game, but then I decided, hey, there's a much more simpler and easier solution to this that won't confuse you guys, okay? The magic thing about coding, you will always have many different possibilities. So you'll see that there's a switch 9 here, and if we were to look over here, are any of these on switch 9? Yeah, they are. Wow. So what could switch 9 be? Well, I'm assuming it's the reveal. The door opens, as you can see here, and then revealing happens. So we'll call it reveal. And then they'll self-assign to the other ones. When I say that, I mean this, reveal. Okay. Go back here. So we're on the reveal. Cutscene. Jake enters. Cutscene. Dialogue. All dialogue heavy. More cutscenes. We start disabling things because you're going to come to see when you test play this that this is actually part of the cutscene. And then more cutscene stuff. More cutscene. We give the player the ability to save, such that if they were to die, which they will likely die, they won't get rageful and having to sit through all of this cutscene again. Okay? And then after the save, we actually have a little bit of a hint to give the player, such that, hey, I understand that you've been messing up and maybe you haven't caught on yet, but here's your hint. This is how you beat the game. And I'm gonna admit, after test playing this so many times and dying so many times, I've come to realize that this portion here, it's a little bit annoying to have, and because of that, you may want to move it before the actual save choice and make it even shorter if possible. So let's go here, get rid of this and say there's the key hiding somewhere for the door to leave. And then we could actually get rid of this, and then we could shorten this text such that it's not so slow. Let's have a little break there. We'll do 2. And that's what it's gonna look like. Okay. So as a developer, you have to come and decide this for yourself. Should we just jump straight into the action every single time the player dies? Or do you feel as though the player requires this sort of hint every single time? Okay? So, yeah, that's all preference. But don't worry, later on, once we get towards the last part of our video, or tutorial, which is coming up in like 2 or 3 videos, we will be able to implement an autosave feature. Okay? But let's not think ahead. So we got a switch here, and it turns on. What is that switch? Well, let's look around. No, that's reveal. There's switch 10. And oh yeah, we still gotta implement where our key is. But first and foremost, what exactly is this switch? Well, very easily, we could call it end chase. And this end chase switch is gonna close out this door. These guys will stay revealed. However, let's not make them interactable because there's no real point to it. But what we will do now is implement a new sorta thing. A new event where possible locations the player can check to find the key. And I was going to implement it here and now, but I feel as though it's more appropriate for the next video where I actually go into the chase sequence and how it works. Okay? That way we have the total end engine, the final chase engine, all in one video. Okay? So other than that, take care guys. I know this one was a lot shorter, but hey, all it means is that we're almost done. Or the next part is going to be rather long. Alright guys, keep RPGing. And if you guys want homework, then all I can say is go into your test game file and then create your own input number sort of condition where you have to open a door or open a chest given that the player figures out a certain set of values. Okay? Such as like this one, they have to do 11, 13, 6. So do something like that. And find out a way to involve the common events similar to what I did. Make them find an item, make them find a book, and have them open that book such that they have to decipher something. Make it Braille too, even. Hell, you can easily just go into our database, highlight this, control copy, go into your file, control paste it. As easy as that. Okay? So, other than that, I'll see you guys in the next part, and keep RPGing. This is TheOdie. Signing off. That what will happen is that Jake will exclaim, pause for 20 frames, and then move once towards the player. So imagine this occurring with the player continuously flashing on and off that flashlight. It's a little bit hard to image, but think about Jake just moving towards the player, pausing, moving towards the player, pausing, moving towards the player, pausing. It's extremely awkward and it's So we're gonna have to find a way around this.